Adriana Kohler, also known as Adriana Banana. Welcome to the Herban Farmacy Podcast.
Thank you so much.
I'm really excited to have you here and wanted to give people just a little insight of who you are before we kind of get into the interview. Adriana is your friendly neighborhood fruitarian, and she helps people thrive who are dealing with MS and other symptoms of dis-ease in their body. And Adriana, I've seen you, known you, connected with you in the raw food and vegan world for a few years now. We connected a little bit deeper this June at the Vegan Wellness Retreat in 2025, and I will see you again in 2026. So excited for it. Is there anything else that I missed kind of during your intro that you want to make sure people know about you before we get started?
No, let's just get right into it, Stacey. Thank you for that intro.
You're so welcome. I really want to know where your journey started, Adriana. Where did all of this start for you? And by this I mean your lifestyle shift, your willingness to help inspire other people to make change in their life and help them on their healing journey. Where did it start?
Yeah, it started probably about 10 years ago. I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis when I was 24. So I had just gone vegan at the time. So I think I was 6 months vegan and then I was diagnosed. I had already these horrible symptoms way before all this vegan stuff happened. It was probably 2 years prior to that, I was having these crazy symptoms. And I used to just never really question my diet or my lifestyle in my health. So I just kind of lived with it. I thought it was cool. I thought it was fine. The doctors were like, oh, you're fine. It's not MS. Don't worry. But then once it was, I thought, oh, crap. Well, I guess I better do something about this. But at the time, because I was already vegan, I thought, well, my vegan diet is going to heal me. And unfortunately, I did the vegan diet pretty unhealthfully, let's just say. A lot of people know, Oreos are vegan. Bread is vegan, most chips are vegan. You can be a really unhealthy vegan. So that was me for probably about 5 years of my vegan life. And I didn't.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I just can't even imagine you eating those foods just because I know what you eat now. I can't even imagine you being a junk food vegan. Okay. So let's back up real quick. Sorry to interrupt you. No. So you went vegan for the animals. Was that your initial reason?
Initially, no. Actually, the first time I went vegan, the reason I went vegan was because I watched the documentaries Cowspiracy and Food Choices, which the first one is about the environment. The second one is about your health. So it really was that at first. It was completely selfishly motivated. But then once I found out about the animals, then it was like, whoa, now I cannot go back. Now I have a reason for doing this beyond myself. This is about the animals now. So for me, it's actually the animal part is extremely important. But now I also know that this is extremely important for our health as well.
Okay. So the first 5 years of your vegan journey, you were a junk food vegan essentially, and you were not feeling well. Yeah?
Well, not really. No, because I still had the MS, but it wasn't really prominent. I didn't really notice it. I just had some fatigue. I just felt sluggish all the time, but that wasn't a big deal, apparently. I wasn't following those signs. So I was just kind of ignoring those small symptoms until 2020 actually was my own personal pandemic. Except for me, it wasn't a plan. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So I got hit with these horrible symptoms that year, absolutely awful. I lost feeling pretty much completely in my bottom half. So I couldn't feel my legs anymore. There was my hands were extremely tingly. I was getting these weird twitches in my face. I was losing control of my bowels, which was very embarrassing and also a little funny to me and my partner at the time. But very, very scary stuff. I was losing vision in one of my eyes intermittently. So scary times, but I knew I had to change. So I immediately went to my diet. I was like, I know I need to change my diet. I'm drinking alcohol. I'm eating junk food. I'm like, well, I got to change something. So I went to Medical Medium. Do you know Medical Medium? Yeah, he was a really big change for me, because for me, I knew I had to bring in more fruits and vegetables. So that's what I started doing. I started bringing in more fruits and vegetables slowly, even though I still had the coffee, I still had the alcohol, I still had other junk food, but I was taking out more of the crap and bringing in more of the good stuff. So I started slowly getting better. And it wasn't until probably 2 years into that, of like kind of half junk food vegan, half pretty good vegan, that I was like, you know what, screw this. I'm only doing fruits and vegetables. But I was still doing cooked vegetables. I didn't know raw veganism existed. I didn't know that was a thing. So I did that, and wow, I felt so much better though. I was like, wow, just fruits and vegetables. I was basically doing what Freely's doing, except with all the inordinate amounts of sugar. And then finally, I watched a YouTube video by Eli Martyr, and he called it The Curious Case of the Fruit Eating Man. I learned about fruitarianism from him, and I could not believe it. Like, I was floored from that. I was like, wow, this makes so much sense. But then once I read Dr. Doug Graham's book, The 80-10-10 Diet, that's when I was like raw vegan overnight. I knew it. I was like, this is it. This is the thing. And so 3 years later, here I am, raw vegan, healed most of my symptoms. I feel amazing. I feel so much better than I did 3 years ago, 5 years ago, like astronomically better. I have all my functionality back. I can do yoga again. I can run again. 5 years ago, I wasn't able to run because the tingles and numbness were so awful. So I've come a really long way since then.
Wow. So I want to know, when you switched over to more of the whole food plant-based eating from the vegan eating, you were still incorporating, yes, some gently cooked foods. Did you start to feel better just from that shift, just from going off of those processed vegan foods to the whole foods? Did you start to release some of your symptoms?
100%. Yeah. Well, because over the course of those 2 years, I was releasing these foods slowly, and I noticed that I was getting better. I was getting better slowly over time, and I would start to become more aware and sensitive to which foods triggered my symptoms and which ones didn't. And I noticed what really triggered my symptoms were any foods that created like kind of an acid reaction in my body. So any fermented food, alcohol, coffee, or high fat foods were a big trigger for me. Even avocado. Like, still to this day, I still have to be careful with avocado. I mean, I'm not fully healed yet. You know,
Yeah.
this takes some time, especially for neurological disorders. Like, it takes time for the nerves to heal. But so those kinds of foods would definitely trigger me. So I had to, or I noticed, like, I have to shift to these better foods, because otherwise I'm going to have these crappy symptoms, and I just did not want to deal with it. So it kind of forced me into eating cleaner and cleaner. So you're absolutely whole food, plant-based, even with gently cooked foods. I felt so much better like that.
And for you personally, it sounds like that low fat approach really works well for you. And I resonate with that. I have been eating plant-based for 18 years, maybe. It's a long time. And I've been it's been, fully raw for several years, low fat. I've done the juicing. That didn't work super well for me. I've done the high carb, mostly cooked, kind of McDougall style. I've done so many things. And right now I've just really kind of leaned into my own intuition and followed what works for my body instead of trying to subscribe to any certain particular path. It's like, if I want a lot of fruit one day, I eat a lot of fruit. If I feel like some Hawaiian sweet potatoes cooked in the pressure cooker, I do that. If I just want a lot of greens, I eat that. If I do want nuts and seeds, I eat that. Like, or a lot of avocado. I just roll with it, and it's working for my body. But I think it's so important to listen. And as women, I don't know if we're listening enough. And you had this intuitive pull, Adriana, to lean more in on those raw foods. Even though that you were eating really clean, you were clearing out those junky foods, you saw this more raw approach, and you're like, a light bulb moment went off, and you're like, I did this overnight. I switched. So I want to ask you some questions when it comes to the raw eating, because a lot of people are very intrigued with raw eating. And they don't know how to do it. Or if they do try to do it, they are simply not getting enough calories and they end up not thriving. And I know that this is one of the things that you're adamant about too. You're like, you're not eating enough. Like a banana ain't enough, girlfriend. You're going to pass out if you go try to eat or work out after one banana. It's not going to work for you. So I think one of the things that I have seen people dealing with when they switch to more raw eating is digestive discomfort. Have you seen that? And if so, how do you help people overcome that? Because I know that you do have a community of people with MS and you're helping them. So yeah, that was kind of long-winded.
Well, there was like a few questions in there. So like, do you want me to start with digestive discomfort?
Sure. Perfect.
Okay, let's do it. Because I know there's so many questions you could ask within this realm, right? Like, and I'll try to address all of them because I think they're all important.
But raw eating has been my highest views over the last several years that I've interviewed people. People are very interested in raw. They want to know how to do it.
That's really cool. I think that's really cool that people want to know how to do it. The way to do raw, I mean, well, this kind of all ties together with every question you just asked, actually. So let's talk about when raw works and when it doesn't. So yeah, there is a way to do raw correctly, absolutely. And I think a lot of it comes down to food combining, because food combining is something that we don't really think about in our daily lives until we start getting into a healthier diet. We don't really ever think about it in the standard diet, standard American diet, standard whatever diet. Because we just kind of throw everything together, and we're also told so often that we need variety. We do need variety, but like everybody's always saying you need the colors of the rainbow on your plate, which I am not a proponent of that. I do not think you need the colors of the rainbow on your plate. I think you need variety over time. So that's, I think, where the mistakes come in on the raw vegan diet is people are like, oh, well, I'm going to have a fruit salad every single day for every single meal. And my salad dinner meal, whatever, is going to have every single vegetable in it because I need all the minerals right now. And from what I've learned and what I've experienced as a raw vegan for this short period of 3 years, I've noticed the simpler the meal, the better you're going to feel. And actually, I'm pretty sure somebody said that. The simpler the meal, the better you'll feel.
The t-shirt.
And I know I did not coin that. I think it might have been Doug Graham, but it should be a t-shirt. I agree. And it's so true. I always noticed if I just have a simple meal of bananas and maybe some lettuce with it, or even just bananas or one type of fruit at a time, what's called a mono meal, I feel fabulous after that. The digestion is lickety split. Because if you think of any other animal in nature, they all eat one type of food at a time until they're full. There's no animal, like giraffes, for example, they eat leaves. They're not like, oh my God, you know what? This leaf's so good. I need to add some cranberries and, just a little bit of olive oil. Just pour it in there. No, they're not doing that. They're like, I just need the leaves, man. They're not worried about the micronutrients. They don't care about any of these little minutia things that everybody else is so concerned about. Protein, where am I getting my calcium, all this stuff. What we need to think about is what is palatable and exciting to my palate in its raw, whole, natural state. So for humans, it's obviously fruit. It's the only food, and some tender leafy greens, of course, but they are the only foods that you would be willing to eat raw and in its natural state. So as a raw vegan, you want to think about, okay, well, what food do I like most? If you like grapes, eat some damn grapes, and eat them until you're full. But don't try to pair them with a whole bunch of stuff. You can do that in the early transition phases if you're like, I'm just so bored of only grapes. Fine. But for each meal that you have, if you want optimal digestion, if you want to be able to do this in a way that is sustainable for you, you need to simplify your meals. And like you said, Stacey, you do need to eat enough food. You need to eat enough calories because a lot of people see fruits and vegetables as a snack. They're like, oh, I'm going to have a celery stick. Oh, I'm going to have one banana or one apple. Unfortunately, that is not going to meet your calorie needs. One banana is like maybe 80 to 100 calories. So for me, a meal of bananas is anywhere from 8 to 11, 12, 13 bananas sometimes. because I'm hungry and I want like 1,000 calories in a meal. And it obviously depends on the person as well. But you really, like you were saying about listening to your body, you need to listen to your body. If you eat 5 bananas and you're like, I'm stuffed, then stop. Don't try to be like me and eat 10 bananas.
Yeah.
And I also think something I did not realize at the beginning of my journey as a raw vegan is that you actually do need to eat greens. It's important to eat soft, tender, leafy greens. I did not realize this. I thought, oh, I can just be a fruitarian where I only eat fruit. And I know there's a lot of people who would disagree with me on this because there's a lot of people out there who are like thriving fruitarians where they just eat fruit, and God bless them, honestly. I did it, but I noticed my teeth were not happy with me. And
Yeah.
so when I started bringing, oh, sorry about my throat, I don't know what's happening. When I started bringing in more greens, wow, my teeth were very, very happy after that. You know,
Very
it was
interesting.
like a big complicated salad. Like I actually love having bananas wrapped in lettuce. I call them bananaritos.
Yeah.
Delicious. So, so good.
Totally delicious.
Yeah, and like just 10 leafy greens. Like I don't tell people that they need to eat things like kale and stuff like that. Like you can if you want. It's just harder on the digestive system. And that's another thing about digestion is we need things that are easy to digest. So something like kale, pretty tough to digest if you don't chew it well. So that's why I always say like lettuce, fantastic. Soft fruits, fantastic. Even harder fruits like apples are wonderful for your teeth too because it gives your mouth a workout. I learned recently about your teeth. If you're having teeth issues on a raw vegan diet, which tends to happen because we end up eating a lot of soft foods, but we need roughage. We need something that causes our mouth and our teeth and our jaw to work out because it's just like your muscles. If you don't use your muscles, you're going to lose them. It's the same thing with
Yeah.
teeth and oral health. If you're not chewing, your body's going to be like, well, these are expendable right now. The things that are most important right now are my internal organs, healing this disease or whatever. But the teeth, they're expendable at the moment because clearly we don't need them to eat these bananas.
Wow. Yeah, definitely. Um, I agree with the greens, very much so. It is very interesting as a woman, um, how much my body asks for minerals at specific times. Uh, and even sodium, like I will find myself, if I'm trying to eat a lot of just fruit, um, my body's like, I need something salty. Like I really need some sodium. I really need the minerals, from greens. And I will just go haywire on greens, including sea greens like nori. Like my body will be like, I really want some nori, which by the way, I don't know if you eat sea greens, but if you roll a banana in nori,
It's
it
good.
is it's pretty good. It's pretty good. People are probably going to be like, what? That sounds so weird, but it's actually delicious. People should try it. So, I 100% agree. And, I think that, yeah, everybody has a different microbiome and everybody has different needs. And I think there is something to women and men as well when it comes to nutritional adequacy. And so I don't know if you work with mostly women or if there are also men, but the greens are pretty important. And what do you think about daily green boost?
I'm not really a big proponent of supplements, to be honest. I'm totally
Mhm.
fine with anybody if they want to use it. Obviously, like go for it. Um, I really like to eat foods in their whole natural state. That is what is
Mhm.
preferable to me. If somebody really feels like they want to do daily green boost, I don't stop them. Um, I've been learning a lot about supplements recently and how they're extracted and yeah, extracted minerals, right? And concentrated. That's the word I was looking for. Concentrated minerals. And I don't think that having something in its concentrated form is as healthy as having it in its whole form. So
Definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
and so
Daily Green Boost is like freeze dried barley grass and then powdered. I'm not sure, but it might actually be barley grass
it is
juice.
barley grass juice powder. Yeah.
So that is concentrated. Yeah, that is concentrated and taken out of its natural form. So I was speaking, yeah, I was speaking with somebody just a few days ago, and he was saying, smoothies are preferable because they have the fiber. It's the whole food that's intact, and that's really what the body recognizes the most. But that daily green boost, I think, can be a good way to get minerals in, especially if people aren't willing to eat greens. Throw it in there with some frozen bananas and make a green ice cream. It's actually quite delicious. But I just wanted to get your 2 cents on that. So you help people. You have been guiding people on this journey. I know that you spoke at Vegan Wellness Retreat. You're going to be speaking again, sharing your story, sharing your wisdom, and helping to, extend your hand to people. How have you seen people's health improve as they implement more of a raw eating pattern or lifestyle changes? Are you just focusing mostly on diet, or are you also addressing other things in there?
That's a really good question. I think that health is definitely not just one spoke. And like, of course, addressing the nutrition is extremely important, and it's probably like got the greatest weight in my program. Like, we need to focus on nutrition, but it's so important. I'm sure you know this, Stacey. Like, you need to focus on your mind as well. You need to focus on getting enough sleep. You need to look at your relationships in your life, the amount of stress you have. All of these things are contributing factors. The environment around you, they're all contributing factors to your health. Every single one. So with my clients as well as my group members, I always make sure that in my classroom section of my group, and as well as when I do coaching for people, that we don't only address nutrition, that we also address the other aspects. Now, I mostly focus on nutrition because that's my bag, that's my specialty. That's where I really want to point people first, because I think this is the foundational piece that I think people need to address first. Because inevitably, when you make or give yourself a better diet, when you're eating better, when your body feels better, your mind is going to feel clearer. Your whole being is going to feel lighter. So it's going to be easier to exercise. It's going to be easier to get better sleep. It's going to be easier to feel good about yourself and to be able to think clearly about your life and what you want. Because even like a sense of purpose, this is important for health. But in order to have that, you need to be clear. If you're eating cheesies every single day for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it's going to be pretty hard to be clear about what you want to do in your life. So that's why I do think cleaning up the diet first and foremost is most important. But yeah, what I've noticed though for people in terms of the transformations that happen, they are insane. Like, and not necessarily only from my program. Like, I've noticed people, my program's pretty new. So I've noticed people making small changes in my program so far, where they would say, yeah, I've been doing this and my digestion improved, my skin's clear, I feel better. Like, I don't hurt anymore, like all this stuff. It's really, really cool what happens. And sometimes I still can't believe it. Like, oh my God, that's amazing. Even though I know why it works, but it's still like, holy crap, I can't believe this works. It feels like a miracle, but it's just science. But then I see people who've been doing this for such a long time, or who've implemented fasting even, and just the transformations are insane. Like reversing basically any disease, coming out of things like cancer or multiple sclerosis or insane digestive disorders, and not only from food. Usually it requires changing the diet, but also going through some sort of cleansing. And I usually see that it's water fasting that gets people with really I guess more in-depth and intense diseases. Water fasting is what really seems to help people the most. As well as juice cleansing. I'm not really into juice cleansing anymore. I did a 2-day juice cleanse last year, and it was cool, but I'm not a huge proponent of that anymore. But I do think that those kinds of uh, types of digestive and physiological rest are extremely important for healing. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Have you done water fasting yourself?
Yeah, I've done a little bit. I've done a 7-day water fast, and I did a 3-day water fast one time. Um, my goal is to do at least a 10-day probably this year, and hopefully one day soon a 21-day water fast. I'd really like to do that. Have you ever done water fasting?
Wow. That's amazing. You've done 7 days. That's so great. I have done 36 hours.
Woo!
I know, right? And I'm actually going to be doing some fasting. It's my birthday coming up on Sunday, and I'm going to be meeting a friend down in Florida. We're going to be doing some fasting. We might just be doing coconut water to start. She's probably doing mostly water. And then I'm actually going to a fasting event for 4 days where we have the choice to do only water or to have coconuts during ceremonial times. So I'm going to be diving a little bit deeper. And for me, it's more about, yes, it's about healing because personally, I still have thyroid issues from being on the birth control pill for 16 years. It is what it is. So I'm still on that healing path and well on my way. But I do intuitively know that if I could just stick with some water only and give my body that full break, physically, it will help me, but also mostly spiritually, I need it right now. So fasting is very intriguing to me. And I have heard so many stories, just like you, Adriana, of miraculous healing, light bulb moments, aha moments, just divine clarity. And I am really looking forward to leaning more into it and helping people understand more about it. So I'm really glad that you brought it up. It was just brought up in an interview I did last night, and we're going to continue sharing this information. Let me know when you go for your 10 days. Maybe I'll do 5, maybe just 3 for me. I don't need to push myself too far. I'll listen to whatever I need. Maybe we could do it before the vegan wellness retreat that's coming up in June.
I would like to, honestly. I mean, yeah, I would like to do it like enough ahead of time so I'm not weak before the.
Totally, because we got to do our workouts when we're there. I know you're going to be teaching yoga, right? I'm going to be teaching yoga and Pilates. And what else are you offering at the vegan wellness retreat? Let's let them know.
Sure. So I'm doing a couple of yoga classes, and I'm also doing a clown workshop.
Okay.
Yeah. So in my past life, I was an actor, or I still do acting actually. And I also like took clowning. Like I went to clown school for a couple of years. So I was like really deep into clowning. So I can teach clown. I love clowning. It's amazing. It's amazing. It's actually quite healing, in my opinion. It's a very healing practice because I think authenticity is extremely important for healing. This is not a child's practice, by the way. This is something that's actually for adults. So don't bring your kids to this clown workshop, by the way.
Yeah.
To anybody who has kids. But yeah, I'm doing that, and I'm also offering Reiki as well, I think, because I'm a Reiki master. So I'm offering some Reiki, and doing another talk, as we said, and that's it.
Yeah. I walked in on your MS talk last time, and you were like, just going full throttle. You're like, look, you can heal. Were people receptive to what you were saying? Did you inspire?
I think maybe like people were talking to me about it after. They wanted brochures. They wanted to know a little bit more. So that was cool. Not everybody is like receptive to it because they hear it, they see it, they're like, okay, you did it. I don't know if I can do it, you know? So it's like for people, it's like jumping off the cliff kind of, you know, it is the scariest part. Letting go of the old way of dealing with MS is really tough to let go of for a lot of people, if you know what I mean. Like letting go of those things that we're putting into our bodies that are literally toxic, you know. It's very sad to see. Like I have a few people in my group right now that I'm like like because I know that they're kind of swimming in between two worlds of like, okay, I want the alternative method, but I also want the like method. And like, I don't blame you. Do what you want. But I'm offering this, and I want to make sure that people feel like they're making the choice for themselves and not like they're making it out of pressure, like you should do this because I said it's cool.
Yeah. What tips do you have for people that are on their healing path, whether it's MS or not? What message or words of encouragement would you share with them?
I would say, believe you can heal. Because if you don't believe you can, it's going to be quite impossible for you to get there. I noticed that people who really believe that they can do something, it's not some magical thing like, oh, because I believe it happened. I mean, that's kind of part of it if you believe in law of attraction and all that, but it's more about because you believe in something, you're more likely to take the actions in the direction of what you think is true. So if you think it's true that allopathic medicine is going to heal you, you're most likely going to take the actions in that direction, which I'm not going to comment too much about. But if you believe in, okay, I know that changing my lifestyle, and I'm learning about why, I'm understanding why, is going to help my body to heal on its own. You're going to probably walk in that direction and start making. So it's kind of like, if you look at me as an example, I knew my body could heal itself. I was like, there's no way I need to rely on drugs to heal me. There's no way. I just know it. I don't know why, but I know it. And then I started walking in the direction of my body can heal itself. Let's find out how. And so I started doing things like doing exercise, eating better, getting rid of the crap. All of these things started to allow my body to heal. And it's only because I really, really believed. And I wasn't wavering in between, oh, well, maybe I'm not, maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm right. Like, you have to believe it. And so my friends out there, if you are struggling right now, I feel you. It sucks. It's awful. But you've got to just believe in yourself. Make up your mind to believe in a future that you want.
So powerful. Oh, so good. All right. Well, is there anything else that you want to share with people? I am so thankful that you shared your story and what's working for you and more about the plant-based, the whole food approach, the raw, and the wisdom and the hope. Is there any last things that you want to share?
Gosh, I'm so grateful for this too, Stacey. Thank you for having me here. Well, okay, how about this? I'll just say for people, if you're dealing with MS or any other problem right now and you're just like, I just need a support group and I want to start a raw vegan diet, I want to learn more about it, you can join my school group right now. It's called Beyond MS. So if you go on to school, it's called skool.com, and you search in the search bar Beyond MS, you'll most likely find my group, and it's free. So join us.
Perfect. We'll be sure to link it as well down in the show notes for this episode. So, Adriana, thank you so much. And I can't wait to see you in June.
Me too.
Are you coming to the Texas Fruit Festival?
Okay, when is it?
It's in April at the beginning of May.
Okay, I'm going to make a plan to come.
You gotta come.
I really want to come. Yeah.
You gotta come to all of them.
Yeah.
Texas, Michigan. There's gonna be some music festivals. There's one in Kansas, and then Woodstock.
Yeah, I still don't know if I'm going to that. I really want to though. I'm planning on.
Come.
Are you going to be there?
Of course.
Duh,
I'll be teaching.
Yeah. Oh
yeah.
Oh my god, amazing.
So, party on 2026 summer. Okay. Well, we'll see you soon. Take care. Thank you so much again. You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.